Command codes verified. Priority 1 message from Starfleet coming in on secured channel.
I can't believe Elijah copied your hairstyle, Tony.
Great.
I know. It's really, it's, I mean, at first it was flattering, but now it's getting creepy.
I think it is fair to say that our resemblance is unintentional.
And
but
uncanny.
then again, Tony, you did come to us way back when, looking to do video for the show. So you must have.
And then
been
he
drawn.
stole our format, left and built his own
Yes.
podcast, and now
So-
he's trying to be the Cuban overlord for his podcast.
And I'm not gonna.
What's this trying business?
Jason Smith says single white male.
So
Yeah, but it's the Cuban guy that's following me. I'm older than he is.
I guess
just not.
maybe,
I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know. Single Cuban male just doesn't have the same ring to it. Just doesn't.
Well, I want to thank everybody who's joining us in the chat today. We've got Moonrunner TTV, Cairo over on Twitch, Jason Smith, Jamal and Ronnie watching us on YouTube, Peter Archibald on Facebook. So thank you all for joining us on this Tuesday evening. As always, it's a pleasure having you, and we're so thrilled that you're willing to spend your Tuesday nights with us. And of course, we're excited to talk about Trek. But today's going to be a little different. We're not doing on screen today because we're going to record that on Thursday so that we will have watched the finale parts 1 and 2 and then do just one massive review of it. It'll still come out on Friday with this episode, along with an interview with Star Trek Online's lead artist, Scott Boyd, and their animator, Weston Pierce. That's also going to be coming up with episode 454 on Friday. So be on the lookout for that.
There's a lot of birthday wishes going around for Kat. Happy
That's
birthday,
right.
Kat.
That's right,
Thank you.
Kat.
Happy birthday.
Thank
Ready?
you.
All together. 5, 4, 3.
It's not going to work well.
But you're right. It's never. It never works.
Okay.
I'm good, thanks. Can you sing it in Klingon, please? Where's Allie?
That's not an original Klingon song.
Allie, you've been requested to sing Happy Birthday in Klingon. But she's probably grading papers right now.
Oh, well.
I literally just watched that episode last night where they sing Happy Birthday to Worf in Klingon.
Oh, where? Do you know how hard it is to translate jolly?
Apparently there isn't a word for jolly.
Oh, so good.
I just want to go back to the part where Allie has papers to grade. How did she get papers?
Well, I mean,
Tell me it's on the Google Meet or something.
yeah,
You know, Google
no.
Drive.
Oh yeah, no. So all
Okay.
lectures are all on Zoom or GoToMeeting or something, and so
Yeah.
then everything is digital now. Everything has to be done digitally.
Yeah,
so-
but we're starting to get emails from my kids' teachers about we're gonna have a meeting on Zoom in here, and we're gonna get Google Classroom is gonna have this and that on it. And you're gonna watch Google Drive for worksheets and assignments and stuff.
So calling it paper, is this the new version of like the save icon? It's a floppy disk.
Yeah,
you know
it's
what
not
it is?
really a
No,
floppy disk.
No. It's like somebody asking you for a tape of X, Y, and Z, and everything
Yes.
is digital now.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's what this is.
Can you tape that for me?
Can you tape that? For
No,
me?
no, I cannot.
I cannot.
I wish I could.
All right. Why don't we do a show?
We could do a show.
All right.
Ready? Is the birthday gal ready to do a show?
I
Or
am.
she's got the birthday itis.
I'm
Doesn't
good.
wanna- doesn't
I've
wanna
had
do
the
it.
birthday drinks.
Gonna be like, I'm just gonna
What
sit
else
back.
am I gonna do on my birthday?
I really can't think of a better way to spend your birthday than recording a Star Trek podcast.
Well, she couldn't go
Well-
out anyway.
Yeah, I was gonna say, at least during a pandemic.
I mean, I could have ate a whole cake, but I didn't do that either.
That's just the wisdom of your years showing now.
Yeah, if you eat half today, there's half left over for tomorrow.
Well, if I had maybe okay, if I had had a
Rationing.
cake, if I had had a cake, I would have probably eaten the whole thing.
Can you not get a cake delivered? Is there no one
I
delivering
could have-
cakes in this time of crisis?
I almost made one. I almost made one, but then I didn't because then I'd have had to dirty the kitchen.
I'm sorry.
You had to clean all the cake dishes.
Are bakeries considered an essential service?
Yes.
It should be.
As my understanding is, as long as they can deliver, you're good.
I heard
Yeah.
liquor stores are classified as essential services. 'Cause
Yeah.
if you're stuck at home
That
with your
is-
family, you're gonna need them.
Oh, so my friend lives in Denver. She says that the city said that dispensaries and liquor stores were not essential on Monday at like 5. There was a citywide panic, Everyone was around the block at the liquor stores and dispensaries. And then the city was like, never mind. Those are obviously essential.
We see
So,
where people's
Revised our
priorities
policies.
are.
so everybody calm down.
Oh, that's funny.
So, yeah. Note to those cities.
Half
Don't
the
do
lawmakers in
that.
Chicago, half the lawmakers in Colorado went, "Wait, what? We gotta fix this."
This is democracy. This is still America,
I
damn it.
need my medicine.
I was telling my wife that, we've shut down the economy, right? I mean, it's going to be like whatever boots back up first, we know that's where our priorities are. So, I mean, that clearly we couldn't even get that one shut down all the way before it had to come right back up. So, yeah, that one, we know where our priorities are.
All right.
Okay, now we can start a show.
Cool. All right, Tony, why don't you read the opening this week, please?
Okay.
Are we gonna record?
We
On
thought
Zoom?
we might.
Oh, I didn't. I totally forgot to record it. So well, we're recording now. Don't. Yes, let's start recording now on Zoom. Okay.
I'll record as well in Zoom.
All right. All right. I'm going to hit the big red button for intro in 3, 2, 1. This is Elijah. Intro sync 1.
This is Cat Intro Sync 2.
This is Tony, intro, sync 3.
This is Skiffy. Intro sync 4.
Intro in 3, 2.
This week on Priority 1, Picard is free! Star Trek delays due to COVID-19, and Star Trek cast and crew entertain us through the quarantine. In gaming news, we get our second look at the summer event ship's creation, discuss the changes to low-tier ships and DOF packs, and we have another round of interviews with Star Trek Online.
I'm sorry. Can we take that
Yep.
lower tier?
Lower tier, sure. In gaming news, we get our second look at the summer event ship's creation, discuss the changes to lower tier ships and DOF packs, and we have another round of interviews with the Star Trek Online team. This week, lead artist Scott Boyd and animator Weston Pierce.
Hello, Captains. You're listening to episode 400. I gotta adjust my mic. My mic is hurting today. Hello, Captains. You're listening to episode 454 of Priority 1, a Roddenberry Star Trek podcast. Your weekly recap and review of all the major news happening in the Star Trek multiverse. This episode was recorded live on Tuesday, March 24th, 2020, and available for download or streaming on Friday, March 27th, 2020. I don't need to say 2020 again. This episode of Priority 1 was recorded live on Tuesday, March 24th, 2020, and available for download or streaming on Friday, March 27th at PriorityOnePodcast.com. I'm Elijah.
I'm Cat.
And I'm Tony.
And in the audio booth is our chief engineer, Skiffy.
Hello.
And on this wonderful Tuesday evening recording session of Priority 1, we are also celebrating Kat's birthday. Happy birthday, Kat!
Woo!
Thank you.
Happy birthday!
Thanks.
Before we...
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I'll go now. Before we jump into the news, we want to invite you to join in on the weekly conversations, whether via social media platforms like Facebook.com/Priority One Podcast, on Twitter or Instagram at Priority One Pod, or by email to incoming@PriorityOnePodcast.com.
Captains, these are very difficult times for a lot of us. It is unprecedented what is happening around the globe this time. So, it is unprecedented what's happening around the globe at this time. So, we understand that supporting something like Priority 1 is very low on anyone's list of things to give money to. Take care
Like
of
priorities.
yourself. Take care of yourselves. If you do want to support the show, one very free and easy thing to do is to share it with your friends, because that's the way we can help grow our community of Star Trek fans.
Cat, he's done. I mean, I
Oh.
know that was short, but he's really finished. I mean, he's
Are we
said what he needed
doing
to say.
the joining the team bit? No, okay.
No.
All right. Now, let's check out the latest news from the Star Trek multiverse.
Everybody hit stop. That was all right. That was good, right? That was.
Yeah, it was fine. It was fine. It was short and sweet, and you're right. People are, there's the priorities have probably changed for a lot of people in a lot of ways.
All right.
Oh my god, I asked my landlord to lower my rent today. Because I was gonna ask them to do it anyway because this place costs too much, but because I don't want to move. I didn't think it would go over, but they said we'll consider your request.
Well, I mean, they don't want places empty. I mean, that's like, they're sure someone's gonna move in. Better to have a live, healthy person in there. Yeah.
I'm like, I pay my rent on time and regular. I never have any issues, so I think
you don't set trash on fire on the porch.
Yeah, not so much.
Oh, no,
Only on her birthday.
No, that's what you said. Couches on fire on your birthday. That's
Once a year's okay, right?
Yeah, it's not.
you get a freebie.
For everyone in the chat right now, I'm kind of curious where everyone's from. So sound off what country or state you are in, and let us know where you're watching us from tonight. I didn't mean to sound creepy at all whatsoever, but I feel like
Where are you watching us from? Hey,
Give me your address, your social security number, and a list of all your fears. Thank you very much.
Hey,
Turn
it's
on,
only
turn
fair.
off. It's okay. It's cool.
It's only fair. They see us in our PJs. Some of us wear pants. Some of us don't. I mean, I think it's only fair to ask what state you're from. I think that's a fair trade.
That's a good.
I'm in my executive yoga pants.
Moonrunner took it back, man. He took it back. ASL.
Yep.
Took what?
ASL, age,
to the old
sex,
AIM.
language, location.
Yeah.
Oh,
From,
okay.
From like AIM, yeah, exactly. AOL Instant Messenger. That was
AOL Instant Messenger, AIM.
They shut down like last year. The AIM was still a thing until like a year ago, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
God, I hadn't used that since the aughts.
Yeah, well,
I believe
exactly.
That was the last. Yeah, the aughts
Like,
was
who
the last
knew
time
it was
I think I
still
used
there?
Yeah. Boy, that was a handy thing at one of the law firms I worked at back then. We just, all the anybody younger than 35 was on it, and anybody over the 35 had no idea what was going on.
Yep, exactly.
So that was So it was kind of I was at the very top end of the in crowd. I was pushing that ceiling, but I was in with the lower kids. Lower, yeah.
Like Jamal's Brooklyn, New York, right behind you.
What?
Okay,
Well, I'm all
we do
exported.
truck it out. Let's do. All right. Good. Everybody ready?
I am ready.
Okay, I'm gonna hit the big red
Cat's
button.
ready. Cat's always ready.
Hey, no, I'm not
She's
ready.
not ready.
Oh. Cat, I heard you were born ready. Was that not? Is it not you? Different cat?
Apparently not.
Okay.
This is weird.
Well, she was born ready, but it's her birthday, so that was another year
Yeah,
ago. More than
Oh.
So bizarre.
Bizarre.
Here we are, making good radio.
Yeah. Okay, well.
Not so much good
Once
video.
again, taking it back to the 2000s.
So I have an idea. I need
DJ
you guys to
Elijah.
help me figure something out here. I want to, you know how a lot of artists right now, and if you have any artist friends, singers, actors, they're doing things on social media right now of recording themselves singing a song or whatnot.
I am not getting in a milk bath for you.
You want to do Les Mis?
This is
over
for the
Zoom,
last
don't you?
time. You have to stop asking me this. I won't do it.
I don't even
Fiddler
know
on the
what
roof on your actual roof.
I don't even know what that means. Who
That was
did a
Madonna.
milk bath?
Madonna was in a milk bath.
Oh
Madonna
yeah. All right. So anyway, I want to.
Priority
Brain
one
bleach,
rap
man.
battle from the chat.
Brain bleach. Now the first thing I thought of was Tony the milk bath.
Now you have to see it.
You bastard.
Give the people what they want. You can't tease something like that on a stage and not deliver.
It's the Chekhov's gun. It's the Chekhov's gun of
The
Priority One
worst.
podcast.
The worst. All right, so I was thinking about singing Mano La Mancha's quest.
Dream the Impossible Dream.
Mm-hmm. Because all of Picard this season has been him saying, Quixotic, windmills are monsters. Like, he legit said it. So, but I want to do it not just, you know, sitting in like this. I don't want to just be like, to dream, but it's just boring. So I'm wondering if I should try to do like something in Stowe, and you know, my avatar's moving its mouth, or I create a Picard-looking thing, avatar, or I don't know, man, because I'm just trying
to
to.
do the study to beam the impossible beam.
Sure. I wasn't gonna do a parody of it. I was just gonna sing it, but I wanted to do it with more than just sitting in front of the camera with my Stowe jacket on.
I mean, the only other option you really have is to do that Photoshop trick where you have the avatar, the computer face, and then someone puts the actual lips underneath it, like they used to do on Conan O'Brien.
Adobe Character Creator, whatever that program is called now. They changed the name.
No cookie.
Yeah, you can do that in Adobe pretty easily.
Okay, well, I don't know what happened to that. I'll come back to it.
You lost the file, or?
Nah, I don't know.
Well,
I saved it a couple of places, so we'll just hope it shows up somewhere. Oh wait, maybe, I found one.
You found one? Okay, I was gonna say maybe we should do a quick test because the intro is not a big deal, but if we miss parts you don't check it out where there's like discussion and stuff.
I saved several copies and there's one. I saved it to my desktop.
As long as you find one.
I'm sure the situation will work itself out.
Yeah, it's cool. I'm good now. Yeah.
We've fixed the glitch.
I'm sure.
So it'll just naturally work itself out.
That's my stapler.
You go down to the basement with a flashlight and a can of bug spray.
Jake says he can use that cartoon avatar he made for you, Elijah.
Oh, all right. Wait, where do you
Is that what you had in mind?
Oh, he can use the cartoon out. Maybe. Huh.
Just
maybe.
Take Tiny E around.
Yeah, if you put that in a screen grab of
Tiny
or a
E.
video
Maybe I could do
stuff.
something with Tiny E. Yeah. All right.
All right.
Remember, this is a family podcast.
Are we good? Everybody good?
Yes,
Kat,
Skiffy, it is. I don't know why Tiny E made you feel necessary to give that reminder out. Wow. Wow. Isolation's really getting to you, huh?
Wow. Okay.
Bidet.
Cat's like,
bidet, calm down.
All right, Kat, you ready?
Yes.
Oh, man.
All right, everybody, I'm gonna hit the big red button in 3, 2, 1. This is Elijah. Trek it out, sync 1.
This is Kat. Check it out. Sync 2.
This is Tony. Check it out. Sync 3.
This is Skiffy. Check it out. Sync 4.
Trek it out in 3, 2. Jake, was this you trying to represent me growing up in the projects, or what? What was this, Jake? I am not saying dig this. You're kicking it at home. I am. What is? No, Jake.
Yeah, no. You are. Yeah, you are.
No.
Go through with it. Yes, you've already done
not.
it. You
Read the copy.
This came out. That is good.
Copy's
fine.
If we're gonna make
copy
it,
is good.
Shut up.
If you don't do it, I will.
Why?
I'll
Rad show though.
I'll do it.
Fine. Oh, I see.
Dare you?
Is he doing like a valley? Like, is that what it is? All right, I see.
No, this is like 60s, 70s stuff. Jive talk, man.
All right, fine.
I thought you don't speak jive. I speak jive.
All right, fine, I got it. Dig this. You're kicking it at home with diddly squat to do. You've heard about this rad show called Star Trek Picard. Sounds groovy, but you don't want to pony up the cabbage to peep it. Good news, buckaroo. Now you can watch it on the bubble. Fine? Good? Is that good?
Your jive is fine, but your
bubble?
accent's terrible.
Shut up.
What does on the bubble mean?
I don't know what on the bubble is.
Whatever Jake thinks it means. I don't know.
I don't know. I never heard that before in my life.
All right. Now that all of that outdated vernacular is out of the way. Let's see. Okay. All right. Now that all that outdated vernacular is out of the way, here's what we're trying to say. The entire first season of Star Trek Picard is currently free. Entertainment Weekly reports Star Trek Picard will still require that you sign up for the free CBS streaming service, but you will gain access to Trek's newest offering by entering the discount code GIFT. Sir Patrick Stewart announced the giveaway on his Instagram account, saying, quote, "It felt good to bring Picard back. Our Star Trek Picard season finale is Thursday, and starting today until April 23rd, you can watch for free on CBS All Access in the United States with the code GIFT. Link in the bio to sign up." Actually, I don't want to say that. "I can't wait to reunite with our cast and crew for season 2. End quote. Links, of course, to where to sign up will be in our show notes.
I got a question for you guys. For anybody that paid for this, does this feel like a slap in the face?
I don't like the phrase slap in the face to begin with, so no. And it's probably just smart marketing on their part because they want Star Trek to be their horse that pulls the CBS All Access buggy. And as we've been saying a lot of time, or frequently, Picard's probably better as a binge anyway. So this is just smart marketing on their part to everybody who wanted to pay for it paid for it. Now they need to get some more people in the door. Hopefully they'll watch it as a binge, think highly of it, come back for season 2 or stick around till season 2.
Yeah, because you still have to put all your information in it's only free for a month. So unless you're diligent about canceling your stuff, which honestly, who of us is really that diligent about doing that? Yeah, you probably have it for a while. Until you're like,
they almost always counting
charge?
On people to not cancel in that month.
I know, because it's a pain to cancel something like this. Like, I need to cancel Loot Crate, but have I? No.
So I thought they went bankrupt.
No, they still charge me.
They still charge you and they don't send you anything.
Yes, it's terrible.
So here's... no, it's not a slap in the face. I don't feel like I've been, taken advantage of. I mean, sure, I guess a little bit. But I'm a fan of canceling But I'm a big fan of canceling student debt, so anybody who complains about, oh, well, I paid mine, I just don't follow that same argument, so I'm not upset about it. I am upset, however, that CBS All Access has had 3 Star Trek shows, so it's been out for at least 3 years now, and they have not invested dollars into improving the web interface. It's unbelievable. You can't, if you're watching it on the web, if you're watching it from a browser, when you pause it, it completely minimizes the episode, so if you were trying to pause it during a frame because you wanted to look at something in detail, can't really do that. It's just, I don't know. They really need to improve CBS All Access. So yeah, I think, like Tony, it's a smart idea to try to get people to either forget about their subscription or to keep them subscribed because they're like, ooh, so this is the Star Trek everyone's talking about. I hope they do it through their Roku or through well, you can't do it through Amazon. I hope they do it through Roku or some kind of app on their phone because the web interface is just still subpar.
Maybe they're waiting for the merger with Viacom to go, like the other I thought they were going to expand the stream.
Merger.
Yeah, the library, and maybe they were waiting for that type of infusion of content to update the interface because it is clunky, it is terrible. You can't pick up where you left off. You can't, it's very hard to navigate. Yeah, it's really not the best service to be streaming. Yeah. Your
idea seems likely, Kat. I mean, that's it would make sense for them to try to get the catalogs together and then launch that new interface that way. So, and they always ding me for at least once. Every time I sign up for something, they always get me at least one time. I'm like, I meant to cancel that. So this is it's good marketing, and for those of us who did pay for the entire season of Picard, we are the people that justified them ordering season 2. And we are the people that let them keep score appropriately to say, hey, we should invest more in this property and bring more of these shows online, because when we do, people subscribe.
I'm switching it since Tony just had a lengthy close there.
Okay.
Every time I talk, it's just too much.
That's why I went like this, but nobody was watching.
I saw it. That's why I shut up.
I guess I have to get the app because I see Kat because she's laughing at me, and I see me in the corner, and I see no one else.
You can switch your view
to gallery.
so you can see everybody at once. Yeah, go to gallery.
Yeah, I use that.
Go to what?
Gallery view in the top right corner of your Zoom window.
Oh, the top right corner of my Zoom, which I don't have because I'm not using the app. I'm using the web interface.
Oh.
Just download the app.
Yeah, download the app, man.
Apps are cool. Apps are where it's at, Kat. They're happening.
All right, moving on.
Jive turkey.
Don't call me Shirley.
Don't call me Shirley. We're all counting on you.
When is Star Trek Discovery Season 3 going to start? Well, it may not be as soon as we originally thought. Back in January, Heather Caden suggested to TrekCore that Discovery Season 3 could be released as early as May 2020, but amid the COVID-19 pandemic, it looks like the series is facing delays. The holdup was first hinted at an Instagram live chat with Discovery star Wilson Cruz. According to comicbook.com, fellow co-star Anthony Rapp noted in the comment section that the post-production work was being done from home, and the process was taking a bit more time than expected. On March 18th, Cruz seconded Rapp's sentiments. On March 18th, Cruz seconded Rapp's sentiments, tweeting, quote, "I didn't see at Albino Kids comment this morning on Instagram Live, but see for yourself in regards to Star Trek Discovery Season 3. It's coming, but it may be a little longer than we thought. It's coming, though," end quote. You can rest assured we'll be keeping a close eye out for release dates, so stay tuned.
So, actually, Skiffy, I kind of want to ask this question to you because, well, you work in the broadcast industry primarily as an audio engineer, but...
Well, that's... Okay, yes.
I can't... But I'm going to trust your knowledge in so many aspects of entertainment that I'm curious. So the problem here isn't so much that they can't work from home, but it's rendering the effects. It's rendering down the visual effects and the videos onto their machines. I have to imagine that they've gone over to cloud by now, no?
The rendering is an issue, yes, for a project as large and as effects heavy as Discovery. What I think is typically the larger problem is the library of assets. Because if you're in your home VFX shop, you've got every asset you need on a 10 or 40 gig network, and you can access everything easily, and you can work off the network. You can have several people editing at once and rendering things at once off the same project. I gotta be honest, I don't know how you would do something as large and as effects heavy as Discovery from home. I mean, that's... I would imagine the way to do it is for them to remote desktop into their work computers and still work on their work computers remotely, because that would make the most sense.
Shoot me.
I know, exactly.
Shoot me in the head.
But that would make the most sense in terms of rapid, like, getting your people on to do it, but that's not a pleasant experience.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean,
so I have no idea how they're going to pull that off.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy.
Discovery Season 3 release date isn't the only Star Trek being delayed due to COVID-19. One of Trek's biggest conventions, Destination Star Trek Germany, is being pushed back as well.
One of Star Trek's?
One of Trek's biggest conventions, Destination Star Trek Germany, is being pushed back as well. In a release, the Destination... I can't say destination very well. It just doesn't sound right coming out of my face.
Physician
bidet. Okay. In a release, the Destination Star Trek Germany team said, in part, quote, "Our main concern is the health, safety, and well-being of our participants, guest stars, and everyone who is part of the DST family. this reason, we have decided to postpone the event until October 9th to 11th, 2020. We hope that the virus will not be a problem until then, and that we can all beam into the world of Star Trek and celebrate together. Smiley face. End quote. The convention, which was set to take place in early May, will remain at the same location. From the release, quote, the venue in Dortmund is the same, and all tickets already purchased remain valid for the new dates. If you are unable to attend the new dates, please contact us, end quote. For a link to the release, check out the show notes.
That is so unfortunate, and I am afraid that Star Trek Las Vegas is also another convention with a bullseye on its back. I mean, it's unfortunate, but it's absolutely necessary. We don't often get political, but this is not about politics. This is about the health and safety of everyone.
It's about math.
It's about math. So, I'm glad that they are taking proactive measures to make sure that the spread of this virus is not continued and that we can flatten those curves. Again, I can't help but think of STLV and how different STLV will be this year. Any convention moving forward. I mean, you've got San Diego Comic-Con, New York Comic-Con. New York Comic-Con today just sent out an email to professionals about professional tickets and panel submissions. And New York Comic-Con isn't until October, so they seem to be hopeful that people will be able to congregate again, but that still doesn't mean that people are not going to be traumatized by the events of what are happening currently. So yeah, the convention year is going to be unique for sure.
I'm just looking forward to seeing everybody show up in spacesuit cosplay.
Or as Jude Law's character in Contagion.
I like the 60s aluminum foil spacesuit thing. I think that's a nice trade-off between, being able to see and interact with people and also have a piece of plastic in front of your face so nobody can sneeze on it.
Just as the Gimp from Pulp Fiction.
That too.
Yeah, but that I think that's a
You're
security.
fully
That's
enclosed.
crazy. Where you're Cat's like my idea of the apocalypse. The Gimp from Pulp Fiction.
Look, we're supposed to get
Everybody
leather
else-
gear to wear in the apocalypse. Where's my leather Mad Max gear? I want that instead of, executive yoga pants.
Well, you've already got the bottom half of your suit all ready to go.
I
That's why
know.
you want to do it that way. Oh, you're just cheating. She's just cheating, that's all.
Well, that brings us to our first community question this week. Did you have plans to attend Destination Star Trek Germany? What about other convention plans? Will you be attending those gatherings, or are you thinking twice? Let us know in the comments section.
Will you do that question over again? Because it really sounded weird.
Okay.
No. Yeah.
Well,
Normally,
that
let's just do your thing, man, but that one was really weird.
All right, fair enough. Well, that brings us to our first community question this week. Did you have plans? I just bit my tongue. Did you hear it?
Yes. It sounded painful. Sorry to laugh. That was terrible. But it was funny.
Well, that brings us to our first community question this week. Did you have plans of attending Destination Star Trek Germany? What about other conventions throughout 2020? Do you still have plans to attend those events? Let us know in the comments section for this episode at PriorityOnePodcast.com, or just keep an eye on our social media platforms like Facebook and Twitter, where we ask you these questions.
In times of great stress, we look to our leaders for guidance and direction, calmness and support. Thank goodness we have our heroic captains, Kirk and Picard. Captain Kirk did something very William Shatner. He tweeted. Well, Shatner tweeted, but he tweeted in the form of a captain's log. Starting on March... This is my brain. Starting on March 18th, the logs began, quote, Captain's log, Stardate 1 of self-imposed isolation. After having arrived at Planet Home, I was warmly greeted by emissaries Espresso and Macchiato. I look forward to my planned respite from my normal duties. Kirk out.
I have no idea who you were trying to mimic there. It's
a bad Kirk imitation.
It started with, I mean, you did the pauses. Again? No. That's
Can we do it again? I'll do it again.
No. That's staying. I don't care. If you do it again, I'm still going to have the original going. Because there was a little bit of Scotty, then there was a little bit of Chekhov. You, went all around the bridge.
Chekhov? I didn't hear Wessels.
No.
I didn't say nuclear Wessels not once.
It went all around the bridge.
Gipton.
When you try for a Shatner, end up at an Elijah.
Thanks. All right.
Love you, man.
You did the Kirk out really good, though.
Kirk out. Shatner has done a log every day since, including a supplemental, and we hope he continues until his 14-day isolation is complete. Not to be outdone, Sir Patrick Stewart also took to social media in an effort to distract and entertain. On March 21st, Sir Patrick tweeted a video of himself reciting Shakespeare's Sonnet 116. It was a beautiful performance and received its due attention, which Stewart recognized. Quote, I was delighted by the response to yesterday's posting of Shakespeare's Sonnet 116, and it has led me to undertake what follows, end quote. What followed was Stewart reciting Sonnets 1, and the next day Sonnet 1. What followed was Stewart reciting next day... Let me try that just one more time. What followed was Stewart reciting Sonnet 1, and the next day Sonnet 2, with the hashtag a sonnet a day. There was no post for Tuesday, March 24th at the time of this writing, but we're hopeful and confident Sonnet 3 is on the way.
I don't know who did it first, if it was Picard. I don't know who did it first, if it was Sir Patrick or Kevin Conroy, but you also have to go to Kevin Conroy's social media because he did a very similar thing. So to hear Bruce Wayne / Batman reading a sonnet is just mind-blowing. So these are great. This is kind of what we were talking about in between takes about artists, whether they're professional, whether they're television stars, or they are your friends who work in theater, whether community or Broadway. They're all taking to social media to try to continue to entertain and distract from the things that are happening, right? That is the purpose of art. To teach and to entertain and to enlighten and to inspire. So kudos to all of them. Somebody else has got to... All right, you know what?
That was you listed.
All right, so...
Well, he just had a big, long speech. Usually he gives it to somebody else.
Well, I was hoping that one of you all were going to be like, chime in and say something, but I guess not. Moving on.
I got nothing.
Well, I do recall about 2 segments ago, you were making fun of me for going on too long and me not seeing your visual cue to wrap it up. So we thought that...
No. I was giving the visual cue because you had the last word before you were supposed to read. That's the trick.
Okay, and
well,
so
anyway,
and
nobody So I was under the assumption that somebody else had something to say, which is why I said the first thing first. I was hoping that you or Kat would say something, but since nobody had anything to say, whatever, man.
Elijah.
What?
I would like to add that I have nothing to add. Thank you.
All right, Kat, why don't you read this last segment, please?
All right. Heading over to Instagram, Picard showrunner and Pulitzer Prize-winning author Michael Chabon appealed to audiences young and old by reciting something different, children's books. Chabon started the read-along with the book he authored, The Astonishing Secret of Awesome Man. The videos continued with Strega Nona Meets Her Match by Tommy DePaula and have continued every day since. The delivery is... Wait, let me start that over. The delivery is gentle and excited and a wonderful activity to share with your children or even watch by yourself. Also on Instagram, fellow Picardian Santiago Cabrera posted a video in which he and his ukulele perform a rendition of Bob Marley's Three Little Birds. It's another beautiful offering from a Star Trek alum and his messages to us not to worry, stay inside, are all well... Wait. That's another word that I can't pronounce. Hold on. It's another beautiful offering from a Star Trek alum, and his messages to us not to worry and stay inside are all worth... Damn it.
Well worth.
Are well worth. Okay, got it. It's another beautiful offering from a Star Trek alum, and his messages to us not to worry, stay inside are all Okay.
I'm thinking we ought to just edit this down just a little bit here. Put a little period here.
Finally. All right.
We're gonna put a period here. We're gonna put a capital here.
Sorry, I'm thinking ahead.
We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. I'm gonna put in this word.
Like Tony's taking.
I like it. Very nice. Way to edit.
Oh, and now Jake's getting in on the action too. Jake's all over the place here. Thanks, Jake.
Okay.
Jake's panicking because he's afraid I'm going to yell at him.
It's another beautiful offering from a Star Trek alum, and his messages to us not to worry and stay inside are certainly worth taking to heart. Check out our show notes for the links.
All I have to say here is that this astonishing secret of Awesome Man, I think, probably undersells the book a little bit. I think he needs to be a little bolder with his title, a little more attention-grabbing, because I don't know if there's enough adjectives in there that really want to interest people in reading this.
I think
we need a wonderful or an amazing in there. We need an amazing and a wonderful in there. I'm being a little sarcastic.
Well, Captains, that's all the news we have to trek out this week. Now, let's find out what happened in the world of Star Trek gaming. Everybody hit stop. All right. So, for those of you watching us live right now, I'm curious if you watched our... Did we disconnect from Facebook?
Check.
I don't know.
It says unable to connect, so I'm trying to reconnect.
Uh-oh.
So, what was I saying? I forgot what we were talking about.
Everybody that's watching, have you seen? Did you watch? That's where you were. I assume you're going to ask about the playthrough of Bridge Crew?
Oh, yeah. Thank you. For those of you watching us live right now, I'm curious if you watched our playthrough of Bridge Crew. We had Al Rivera join us for a little bit of fun gaming, evening of fun gaming.
It was fun. I'm sorry I had to leave, but some of us have to work the next day.
I believe we are no longer live on Facebook.
It's back on mine now. It says unable to connect, and I'm not sure why.
It did that to me the other night. I was having issues with Facebook as well.
The internet just may be breaking under the strain.
That's true.
Could be.
Yeah, earlier today, Zoom and Steam were both out at the same time. So people were kicked out of their work, and they were kicked out of gaming. So what are you supposed to do?
Right?
Read a book.
Well, that's so 19th century.
Hey, at least you have electric lights to read it with. Come on. I mean, there's a little bit of 20th century sprinkled in there, too.
I like my books read to me from Audible.
Ooh, I love
God
Audible.
intended.
FYI, we are not sponsored by Audible in any way.
But there are some amazing books on Audible. Read by some of your favorite actors, even Will Wheaton.
Ready Player One. Totally should be read.
Also, Benedict Cumberbatch reads a delightful version of Casanova, if you're into that at all.
Is anybody here into that?
Ladies, it's well worth a listen.
It's like
really skewing towards a certain demographic there.
Yep. You ladies out there, and maybe some dudes. Yeah.
So I wanted to tell you guys, and anybody in chat, but I didn't want it to necessarily go on the recording. You guys were talking about canceling services. I use a service called privacy.com that is free. And that allows you to make virtual cards linked to your own bank account that you can pause and unpause at will. So what I do when I sign up for something like CBS All Access is I give them one of those fake virtual cards. It's not fake, it's a real card, but it's virtual. It's not a physical card that you have. And then if you need to cancel and can't get in touch with them, you can just pause it and they can't charge that card anymore. So So that's a nice,
Really?
nice thing to use for services.
I need to swap out my loot crate for that. It keeps charging me.
Privacy.com.
Yeah. Also not a sponsor, but should be.
Yeah, we'd be delighted to entertain any sponsorship requests.
That's right. Yeah, Audible brought to you by Audible and Privacy and otherwords.com.
And Loot Crate? Maybe?
Listen, Loot Crate, I got issues. Listen, I am not happy.
Okay, ready for Stone News?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm gonna hit the big red button in 3, 2, 1. This is Elijah, Stone News Sync 1.
This is Kat, Star Trek Online News Sync 2.
This is Tony, Stone News Sync 3.
This is Skiffy, Stone News Sync 4.
Stone News in 3, 2. This week on Twitch, Ambassador Kell hosted Christian Griffith, a cryptic test analyst, drawing his interpretation of a Rycian science vessel. This was the second of 4 weekly streams being presented by Cryptic in the design. This was the second of 4 weekly streams being presented by Cryptic in the design of the upcoming summer event prize ship. Christian worked with feedback from lead ship and UI artist Thomas Maroney this week. Now, unlike last week's stream featuring Nick Duguid at work on a 3D model, Christian put pen to paper to sketch his concept. While hitting on some of the same nautically inspired ideas as Nick's design, Christian took his drawing in a very different direction. After all 4 weeks of concept designs are completed, Cryptic will open up a voting contest to players. The winning design will be sent to concept artist. Hector Ortiz for final drawing, and will then become the new summer event ship for 2020. If you'd like to watch the recorded stream with Kale, Christian, and Thomas, check out the Twitch link in our show notes. I call shenanigans. I bet this is like one of those House Hunters or remodeling shows where the work's already been done and all the interviews are done and the ship's been complete and they're going to go back and all they're showing us is old stuff.
How dare you, sir? How dare you?
How are we going to vote on it then?
They already have it. They're all set. All the ships are made and we're just
they just said these are the winners, so this is the ship.
Something like that.
So whichever one we vote on that wins is this year's ship. The other 3 are the next 3 years' ships.
Pretty much.
Hey, that could happen. I like the Rycian ships because they go real fast. So, and I like science ships, so I'm interested in these ships. I think it's going to be really cool.
He's changing it again.
Are you switching stuff up?
He's switching things around.
All right.
Was going to be Cat, now it's me. Okay.
It's really a good thing we go through and label these ahead of time.
Look, yeah. I am just trying to keep the show vibrant, and it helps to change voices, and it helps to change voices. So Kat had the last word. Now we're switching up. It's all about when you listen back to the show, you're going to pay attention to these things a little more. This is how the sausage is made. You're going to pay attention. You're going to be like, yeah, that's right. I'm engaged the whole time because the voices change.
Can I go now?
It's like driving along the northeast coast during the fall. Their foliage change. It just keeps changing as you go. It just keeps going.
Panda calls you Darth Elijah.
And this has been Elijah's Podcast Lesson Hour, brought to you not by Audible or by Privacy.com. Along with a 30% off sale and a promotion pack weekend recently, Cryptic announced a number of changes to Duty Officer packs for PC players. For starters, a new Duty Officer pack bundle has been added to the C store for 1,000 Zen. The bundle includes one of each duty officer pack: Fleet, Delta, Gamma, and Romulan. The Reinforcement Duty Officer pack has been retired, though its Toughly Freighter reward has been moved to the Gamma pack. Each of the 4 remaining packs will now include an additional Uncommon Officer and an additional Rare Officer. The 4X Fleet ship models formerly available as a chance reward from the Delta pack have been removed, and the odds of a bonus trait reward in that pack have increased. Individually, the 4 Duty Officer packs will have a regular C-Store price of 300 Zen.
So, you know what's been due for an overhaul?
The Duty Officer system.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So I mean, maybe is this a harbinger? Maybe because they're like, we need to reorganize this and make it all better and stuff. Because maybe there's something in the pipeline. Fingers crossed.
No, I thought we talked to Al about this, and he said, "Didn't we?" I don't know. I thought it was.
Yeah, I thought he said like
ago.
the only way to totally redo it is to get rid of everybody's, and that probably wouldn't work. So
I think Al's
Let's just
official word
rearrange it.
was that they were having a meeting soon, like this week, to talk about what their future plans are for which systems may get a rework. And Duty Officer was on his radar as being something that could use an overhaul, but there's no actual active plans yet on how that would happen. They were going to talk about making plans to do that.
Okay, well, you know, maybe with a little bit of TLC to how the things are sold, that might give it a little juice. But and not that I'm complaining, I like the Duty Officer system, and I have since the beginning. But it is showing its age a little bit now. Could use a lick and a polish.
Well, that brings us to our next community question this week. Which Star Trek Online Duty Officer is your go-to officer for your favorite builds? Let us know in the comments section over at PriorityOnePodcast.com, or share with us your Stowe Academy build, if that's what you use to flesh out, and if that's what you use to plan out your characters.
not a specific one, but depends on your build, though, I guess. I guess there are specific ones for specific builds.
I got lazy. I just have one that I just never change them. Like, the brace for impact guy and the torpedo guy and like a couple other ones that just I always have buttons for those. So.
Well, I've been working on torpedo builds, so yeah, you can get some really good duty officers from the fleets too. So don't forget to check your fleet stores.
I do
Aux to Bat, so I use 3 for that.
I was about to say, yeah, I've got my Aux to Bat build, and so I've got 3 of the technicians.
Dolmer, Marion, Dolmer.
Yeah, and then actually the new Borg duty officers from the lockbox are pretty good.
Oh, those are really good duty officers.
So if you can afford them on the exchange, or if you want to leave it in the hands of RNGesus, you can open up a Borg lockboxes to get those.
Collect all 47.
Right.
Gotta catch them all.
Duty officers weren't the only adjustments made by the Stowe team. Cryptic announced Tuesday that Tier 1, 2, 3, and 4 ships will be purchasable for dilithium. Those lower tier ships currently available to purchase via the ship vendor for dilithium will have prices significantly slashed, while Tier 1 through Tier 4 ships in the Zen store will be offered for dilithium. For a closer look at the numbers, the current price of a Tier 1 Talis Warbird is currently 4250 dilithium from the ship vendor. The new price, 1000 dilithium. A Tier 1 Tavaro Light Warbird is on the Z store for 500 Zen. Converting that at the current rate of 404 dilithium per Zen, that's 202,000 dilithium. After the change drops later this week on PC, the new cost will be 15,000 dilithium. Pretty significant discount. But it isn't all good news. At the time of release, which is due out on console April 9th, the Tier 1 prototype Light Cruiser Explorer will not be made... At the time of release, which is due out on console April 9th, the Tier 1 prototype Light Cruiser Explorer will not be made available for dilithium. That's the Shenzo for anyone keeping score. Also, any ship purchased via dilithium after the change will not be an account unlock. It's character only. It's per character only. For a link to the Star Trek Online article, which offers a breakdown of all 4 affected tiers, check out our show notes.
So I think for this episode, I want to merge our feedback segment with this discussion because that is what dominated this new announcement is what dominated our feedback on social media. So in lieu of feedback, we're going to share your comments about this topic now. So guys, open up your feedback document.
Oh.
I caught that hint. That hint I caught. I got that one.
I thought he meant we were coming back to it during feedback.
No. So Mike McLeod on Facebook said, at this point in Stowe's longevity, I would make all level 1 to 25 and 35 ships free. Most of Stowe's money comes from endgame purchases. How will this impact veteran players? It will not have any impact. Veteran players already have the resources which they need to buy these ships. Unless you are an obsessive compulsive, the lower tier ships are useless. I tend to agree. I mean, even if you're an alt person who has a never-ending list of alternative characters or backup characters or third and fourth and fifth characters, do people still use those?
No.
I like this for the fact that I can get the rest of my Admiralty cards.
Yeah,
so I'm a little bit obsessive, at least on the Admiralty card spot. But I'll either dry dock these or pitch them once I get it.
Yeah, I still like to claim them for Admiralty because it gives you options. But I don't fly any of those ships because you can scale tier 6 ships now. So,
right.
Yeah.
I think that's what's driving this. Yeah.
But there's the ones that were in the C-store had some nice consoles. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
right.
Losing that as an account unlock.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Well, that's what Astro Alligator pointed out to us via Twitter. That, yes, you can cheaply obtain tier 3 and tier 4 ships, but having said that, he says, they say, with the dawn of scaling tier 6 ships, this is really just making these special consoles cheaper to get for new and old players alike. So, but you guys are saying that now these are no longer going to be account unlock. You buy it with dilithium and it's character bound?
Correct.
Yep.
Unless you've already purchased it with Zen, in which case it remains account unlock. But yeah, if you don't have it already and you're going to buy it with dilithium, then it's a per character option.
Well,
and this makes a lot of sense. It's a time currency, so you want it per character. You spend time in that character, you earn the dilithium with that character. That ship is unlocked for that character.
And I mean, in theory, let's say you have 3 primary tunes that you play with, right? Let's say you have 1 Klingon, 1 Romulan, and 1 Federation, right? And those are your 3 go-tos. That's still cheaper than converting dilithium to Zen, right? Let's say you do have to purchase those ships 3 times. If we said that it's 15,000, then you're only at 45,000 because you bought them 3 times for 3 different factions, 3 different characters, versus 1 ship at 202,000 dilithium, right?
Yeah. I mean, the dilithium price would have to fall to 100 dilithium per Zen in order for the math to even start to look bad. So, yeah, this is a headline number cheaper, but I think the math works for Cryptic as well, because I don't think that having lots of alts is necessarily good for their business model necessarily. I think it's an overhead on their database and all that kind of stuff. They'd rather have people play a lot of time on a single character, or maybe 3, like you said, one for each faction. But I think the multiple alt thing isn't something they necessarily want to encourage.
And Winters in the chat screams, this change should lower the dilithium to Zen price too.
Yeah, which is, I think, the kind of the goal, like, because the dilithium exchange had been so out of control lately. Like, they've really taken some serious steps to get that lowered. So I think that's a positive.
Yeah, it's definitely a dilithium sink. It should make dilithium more in demand, which would lower the Zen dilithium conversion.
Well, Captains, thank you so very much for engaging with us on social media. We're so very glad to have had your insights to We're so very glad to have had your opinions and comments about this big change coming to ships, coming to the availability of ships and how to purchase them in Star Trek Online, at least through Tier 4. So thank you so very much. Moving on, if you caught our show last week, you've already heard many of Al Rivera's thoughts on the Star Trek Online Anniversary episode's Measure of Morality. And now, Cryptic has released their own behind-the-scenes video on YouTube to celebrate the episodes. Lead designer Al Rivera was joined at the discussion table by senior content designer Jesse Heinig, lead environment artist Scott Boyd, animator Weston Pierce, and environment artist David Lopez. For starters, Al and Jesse said that they've been itching to bring Excalpians and Space Lincoln... Hold on a second. I'm sorry, I'm reading. Make it reading.
Oh, you said Excalpians, which just makes them sound like scalpers.
I just don't want to read this whole thing depending on how much we covered it too.
Oh,
all right.
yeah.
So, Captains, this is a very lengthy... Sorry, Shane, if you're watching. So, Captains, this is a very lengthy video with so much good content. And, of course, we covered a lot of it already on last week's episode. So, we encourage you to check it out. Links, of course, will be in our show notes. Oh, wait, hold on a second. Well, Captains, we're not going to go into the nitty-gritties of this video because we want to encourage you to head on over to their YouTube channel to watch it. And, of course, be sure to listen to our interview with Al Rivera that we published with episode 453. And then just keep playing this episode because we've got Star Trek Online's lead artist, Scott Boyd, and animator Weston Pierce joining us to talk about their experiences over the last 6 months.
Coming up for the weekend of April 9th through April 13th, Star Trek Online will have a bonus dilithium weekend. During that weekend, players will receive a bonus 100% extra dilithium ore from mining and 50% extra from other content that rewards dilithium ore. It's a great time to stock up on dilithium for Phoenix boxes or the Zen Exchange. But if you're looking to exchange dilithium for Zen, you might want to keep an eye on the exchange rate. It's usually not at its best return during these events.
Any Armada news?
Yes, we do have Armada news. Just a little bit. This week in Armada news, if you weren't aware, we have an event going on Thursdays. So join us for TFO Thursdays on Thursdays, where we team up with... Let me start.
That was good. That was fine.
It was fine.
I've had drinks. Every Thursday, we team up with you and our other Armada members to earn marks in dilithium. Oh man, I cannot talk today. So we changed it from Tuesday to Thursday, but we do hope you join us on Thursdays. And I love earning marks because you need to get gear from your reputations. But in other Armada news, Epsilon Fleet is still working on its Tier 5 colony upgrades. So well done, Epsilon. We've got our most recent upgrade on cooldown, and the same for House of Martok, where it has its third Tier 5 colony on cooldown. So well done. And we have a big announcement, and I'll talk more about it next week, but the month of April is Mirror Month for the Priority 1 Armada, where we enter the Terran Empire, and we all take on our Empire Terran personas. So keep an eye out for that, because we have giveaways and events and all kinds of cool stuff going on.
Jason Smith, man, he is so fast. Darth Elijah.
Did he tell? Oh my god!
Already, he put me in the Palpatine hood. Man, Jason, you are
Jason
fast.
Smith is awesome.
I'm Emperor Palpatine.
In other gaming news,
Scopely, the studio behind Star Trek Fleet Command on mobile, has announced via VentureBeat.com that they have secured another $200 million in funding. The latest funding for Scopely brings their fourth round investment funding total to $400 million. According to the article, Scopely says that they are committed to bringing people together around the world, particularly now that it's so important to do so online. Besides Fleet Command, Scopely is also developing hits like... Okay. Besides Fleet Command, Scopely also develops... Besides Fleet Command, Scopely also develops hits like Scrabble Go and Marvel Strike Force. Yes, you can.
Oh, is it me?
Yep.
That's it for this week in gaming news. Now we welcome Star Trek Online's lead artist Scott Boyd and animator Weston Pierce.
Everybody hit stop. Ooh, I really have to use the restroom. I drank this whole thing of water in this one session.
Well, we'll miss
Alrighty
you.
then.
Thanks for
Sure,
painting
turn
that
your mic
picture
off.
for us.
Thanks for sharing. Hope everyone's doing well out there in your self-imposed isolation. Or not. Whichever.
It may be a required imposed isolation.
Yeah.
Depending
some
where you're at.
cities. Yes.
Or you could be one of those nuts still going on spring break, hanging out at the beach.
Yeah.
But if that's the case, I would be surprised if they're watching our stream.
yeah. Literally saw a girl was like, God, this is really cutting into my spring break.
Yes, it is.
Is it?
I was like,
You know what else does that?
I feel so
Being
bad
hooked
for
up
you.
to a ventilator.
Yeah, you know.
If there's one available
That's
for
a
you.
bummer. Yeah, they give you one. I have some relatives that are not yet convinced that this is actually a big deal. You know, they're still
I have some of those too.
reserving judgment on the whole idea that math applies to them. So, you know, yeah.
Well, set aside some money to buy them some flowers in a month. They'll need them.
I think, you know, like we in Kansas, the governor here was she acted a lot earlier than a lot of places. I think we were the first state to say, guess what, school's out for the rest of the year. So she's taking some heat for that. But as New York starts to spiral out of control, I think everyone's going to looking at her and kind of going, okay, so yeah, that was okay, sure, that was a thing. That was probably all right. My wife works at the hospital, and she says that they have time to prepare. They're not finding much extra equipment, but they're going to be able to practice setting up an ER tent and stuff like that. So they'll have
Where was that?
some Wichita. We're in Wichita.
Wow.
Yeah, so
I
they're having time to prepare, which is good.
I read that in New York they're converting Javits Center into a temporary hospital, which is crazy.
Well, you go back and look 100 years ago.
When I say crazy, I mean just to think that is necessary. But I understand that it's a great move. It's just crazy.
You just go back and look at those 100-year-old pictures of the 1918 flu, and that's there's pictures like that, them taking over high school gymnasiums and just putting up cots everywhere. You know, I mean, it's every 100 years or so. I guess we have to relearn how to do this. But
Guess we're on the 100-year cycle.
yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Jake says we had a contractor deliver a bunch of N95s to all our stations.
That's good.
For all the bad, there's still some good too. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Oh
nice.
yeah.
You know, people are really pitching in and showing, they really have the community spirit and are there to help. So, and well done to anyone who works in a grocery store or a pharmacy.
Amen.
Oh my gosh, gas stations, convenience stores, all dispensaries and liquor stores. Thank you too.
We know that we wouldn't get through without them.
Definitely.
I watched
delivery drivers big.
Oh, delivery drivers. Dude, you guys are getting so much of my tip money now. I feel so bad for you guys.
Well, even that UPS, USPS, FedEx, those guys are the backbone of society at this point.
Amazon drivers, yeah.
Yeah. My brother drives a FedEx truck, and he says that it's a little nuts, but everyone sort of feels like they're doing something.
That's great.
Is it more or less than Christmas time for him, like in terms of volume?
I think it's probably less at the moment, but it'll probably, as people switch over, it'll become more. It's just that it's I think we're still in the swing in a lot of it.
Yeah, this
Kansas,
week is supposed to be the tipping point for where things start to really get bad.
Yeah, and Kansas City, Missouri is where he's at, and they had a shelter-in-place order go into effect, I think 5:00 tonight. So, it was still in kind of the ramp-up period. So I imagine that when they announced it, it was like Saturday, and so I imagine everybody got on Amazon on Saturday, and if there's 2 or 3 day delivery, all those deliveries will be hitting in the next 2 or 3 days, today and the next days. So, it's going to be it's bad because like some of us are going to be super busy. Like one of our audio editors works for an agency that sets up emergency operations center, and he's just working 18-hour days. And then some people just have to stay home because they're ordered to stay home. So it's kind of hitting everybody unevenly.
Yeah, I have a friend that it's his own, like he's the only person showing up in the office because he's the one that has to be there. But everybody else is able to stay home. So.
Well, but see, that's not so bad though, right? Because you got the run of the place. The fridge is his, the coffee maker's his. I mean,
exactly.
The whole place is he owns the place now, basically.
I told him you could, listen to any music you want.
No one else. He could take off his pants once he got to work. I mean, everyone else is working without pants at home.
Elijah has a question.
You guys want to just wrap it up? We don't have closing.
Yeah, we're good. Yeah, let's do this.
All right, I'm going to the big red button for closing.
Nope, feedback.
No, remember
I thought we finished. We just combined it.
Oh, we did it all?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, except for the vote.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Jake. I love you, but it's a long show today. It's another long show.
I call shenanigans with that Twitter vote anyway.
All right.
I just voted for booze.
I mean, we can talk about it. What was the vote, Skippy, and why do you call shenanigans?
Well, I called him out. In our Discord, for which patrons can join anytime. Because I misread the question. He asked what your favorite doctor was. I missed that it was an Enterprise doctor. So he had put Phlox and
Pulaski.
Phlox and Pulaski in, and I went, "How could you pick those two over the Doctor and Bashir?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, it's a TNG, or it's a Enterprise vote." And I said, "Well, the Doctor could still qualify because the Doctor is on the Enterprise."
Oh yeah, for like 5 seconds.
Oh, right.
And that was the best 5 seconds of the movie.
Yeah, but that's not the Doctor. It's a non-sentient
copy.
Yeah, it's a non-sentient hologram, and if you believe that the Doctor on Voyager is different from the other holograms, then it wasn't the Doctor.
That dude got sent to the salt mines.
Hologram lives matter.
That dude got sent to the salt mines, Skippy. I hate to tell you, he got sent to the salt mines.
That's right. The lithium mines.
The lithium mines. Excuse me. The salty lithium mines.
All right, I'm gonna hit the big red button for closing in 3, 2, 1. This is Elijah closing sync 1.
Cat closing sync 2.
This is Tony closing sync 3.
This is Skiffy closing sync 4.
Cat's like, I don't have time for this is anymore. Closing in 3, 2. Well, that wraps up episode 454 of Priority 1, a Roddenberry Star Trek podcast. But there are more great shows available to you on the Roddenberry Podcast Network. Just visit podcasts.roddenberry.com for a complete list. Then be sure to subscribe to them all, and be sure to share them with your friends.
But we can't forget to send a special thanks to some of our Patreon supporters like Diana Gunther, Darnell Dwayne Ross, David K. Rutley, Joshua Selig, and Peter Archibald.
And before we go, here are our community questions for the week. Did you have plans to attend Destination Star Trek Germany? What about other conventions throughout the year, like STLV? Will you still be attending? Also, in gaming, what Star Trek Online duty officer is your go-to officer? One that you must have for every build you run. And of course, we encourage you to share with us your Stowe Academy links.
Captains, it's important to us that you get your voice heard and that you participate in the conversation. Leave us a comment on our website at PriorityOnePodcast.com, on our Facebook page at facebook.com/PriorityOnePodcast, or find us on Twitter and Instagram at PriorityOnePod.
And if you're still craving more, be sure to spend time with Winters, me, and the rest of the Priority One Armada. Saturday nights, the Armada broadcasts live to review the latest news from Star Trek Online and the Armada community, including spotlighting some of our amazing members. With regular giveaways, there's something for all Star Trek Online players, whether you're new or a veteran. Follow us on all our social media accounts for broadcast times, and if you'd like to join the Armada, visit PriorityOneArmada.com.
This episode of Priority One Podcast is brought to you by our patrons through Patreon.com. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/PriorityOne. Even if you cannot make a financial contribution, the next best thing you can do is spread the word about our show. Invite your fellow Trekkies to get their weekly roundup and review of the latest news from the Star Trek multiverse right here. It's your support that keeps us going.
And don't forget to tune into Priority One Productions' Guard Frequency podcast at guardfrequency.com. Each episode, the Guard will take you inside the universe of your favorite space sims, including a tabletop adventure played out by your hosts. And we're celebrating our 300th episode, so be sure to check that out for sure. And Heroes Rise brings you up to date with the world of Dungeons and Dragons. Learn all about the latest publications, tools, tips, tricks, and traps in less time than it takes to skin a wyvern. Head over to heroesrisepodcast.com to discover their secrets.
And Q-Pan comes in with a full body.
Well, why aren't you shooting lightning? I need a lightning. I need lightning.
I need lightning. Yes, give me the lightning.
We need a lightning one.
Unlimited power! There, I even gave you a new frame that you could use.
There you go.
Thanks to our special guests this week, Star Trek Online's lead artist, Scott Boyd, and animator, Weston Pierce. Thanks to our audio editors, including Gray, William, Brandon, Rand, Daniel, Roscoe, and Skiffy. Thanks to our producer, Jake Morgan, and associate producer, Shane Hoover, for assisting us in the weekly production of this podcast, and for helping us assemble the weekly headlines from the Star Trek multiverse. I really
You're like, what does he even do anyway?
No, shut up.
Does he? No, yeah.
I just need to rewrite. I need to rewrite this because I have them.
He put words down somewhere. I don't know if he used them or not, but
I still have it separate, and so I keep having to merge it in my head as I'm reading it, and I just need to rewrite that part where I'm thanking them. Because I still have
you
Jake,
make him feel special.
I still have Jake saying that he's helping with the captain's vlogs, and we're not doing those. Thanks to our graphic artist, Henry Pomper, with support from Jason Smith and the Priority One Armada. Thanks to the composer of our theme music, Chris Watts. But most importantly, a big thanks to you, the Star Trek community, our listeners. Because without your ongoing support, none of this would be possible. Everybody hit stop.
I really just turning into that guy from Office Space. What is it you'd say you do
here?
Shut up, guys. You
is your name Bob? Hi, Bob. Hey, Bob.
Oh, man. All right, Captain.
Believe me, I'm just spitballing here. But what if we put as many as 4 people right underneath?
Directly under, yeah. You're firing Samir and Michael, and you're giving me more money?
Big step for you, Peter.
We're gonna need you to come in on.
Never right now.
Saturday.
Never.
We lost a few people, and we're trying to play catch up.
All right, Captains. Well, thank you so very much for joining us on this live recording of episode 454 of Priority One. I'm sorry to our Facebook friends who got disconnected. I have a feeling everything all over the place is breaking under the weight of people working from home and spending much more time at home for the needs of the many. So I'm not complaining about it because it's for the needs of the many. Until next week, everybody, say goodnight.
Good night.
Good night.
Command codes verified. Priority 1 message from Starfleet coming in on secured channel.